One of the common and basic questions among students or someone who wants to learn code is, how can I learn to code fast and make a career as a programmer? Whether you are a student, fresher, or experienced person trying to switch your job in programming, you will definitely try to find tips and tricks to learn to program quickly and effectively. The job of a programmer is one of the high-paid jobs in the market and one of the coolest jobs people find to do. Learning to code and mastering it can take years for a beginner. This isn't an overnight journey, but it's also not as difficult as people think about it. All it just requires is dedication, passion, interest, and definitely patience. Here in this video, we will discuss some tips to learn programming effectively and faster. So, let's get started. Okay. 1. Learn how to code faster by doing. With every new subject, the sooner you start playing with the code, the faster you will learn the given concepts. Even if you blaze through an entire chapter of reading and a topic like for loops seems straightforward, so a monkey could do it, you'll still be scratching your head when tasked to implement the code for the first time. You'll think, wait, what was that one piece of syntax again? As the saying goes, you need to use it or lose it, because despite the evolution of technology, this old proverb holds true when learning to code. 2. Learn the programming fundamentals to gain core knowledge. As elementary as they may appear at first, programming fundamentals always need to come first. The better you understand them, the easier it is to learn more advanced concepts. From our experience at Coding Dojo, students who rush through the beginning of our courses, where we focus most on web development fundamentals, are often the first to get stuck as we transition into more advanced material, such as back-end programming. So before you ditch the first class of Computer Science 101, or skip Chapter 1 of an online tutorial, keep in mind that you are overlooking the most important step in your learning. 3. Code by hand. It sharpens proficiency and you'll need it to get a job. Computer monitors become thinner, hard drives lighter, and programming languages more powerful, but coding by hand still remains one of the most effective methods to learn how to program. Be it on a whiteboard or notebook, coding by hand requires further caution, precision, and intent behind every line of code. Because unlike on a computer, you can't run handwritten code midway through the sheet to check if the work is correct. Although more time-consuming, this restriction will meld you into a more fundamentally sound developer, both in the classroom and the job market. For college exams and technical interviews, a critical component of the job interview process, you will have to code by hand, because not only is this good for learning, but it's universally known to be the ultimate test for a programmer's proficiency. So, start early and get used to this old-school practice. 4. Ask for help coding. You'll need it. As awesome as it would be to become the next Steve Jobs on your own, the reality is that people learn faster with mentors and peer feedback. What may seem like an immovable bug or topic could be quickly alleviated by a fresh pair of eyes or a new interpretation of the subject. Whether it's online or in person, ignore the trolls and don't be afraid to ask for help, because every programmer has been in your shoes before. Besides, most developers love to code, and if there's one thing that passionate individuals enjoy, it's to share their knowledge with others. 5. Seek out more online resources. There's a wealth of content. If a particular concept doesn't make sense, be it in a textbook or during class lecture, maintain your confidence and look for alternate online resources to learn the same content. Everyone learns differently, and just because one source doesn't make sense, doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means that you're not clicking with the delivery of the material. The online resources to learn computer programming are endless, and there's always tutorial or blog explanation that will make the material at hand crystal clear. 6. Don't just read the sample code. Tinker with it. Reading sample code is not enough to understand how it works. To develop a true understanding, you need to actually run the code and tinker with it. With the additions of comments and instructions, sample code is packaged to be by the reader, but in reality, it's pretty difficult to replicate from scratch. Reading is not the same as understanding, and actually trying to write the code yourself, or at least running it, will facilitate the learning process much more. 7. Take breaks when debugging. When debugging, it's easy to go down the rabbit hole for hours, and there's no guarantee that you will fix the problem. To avoid this, it's best to step away from it for a few hours and return with a fresh perspective. Not only is this a guaranteed way to help solve the problem, but you'll also save yourself hours of headache. So if help isn't available, to touch on our previous tip about seeking advice, consider taking a break to clear your mind and return later. In the meantime, the bug won't be going anywhere, and you'll at least restore some needed sanity to improve productivity. Finally, I would like to tell you that it's not that tough to start your coding journey, and you can take your right foot forward anytime. You might be thinking in the middle that you are not smart enough to code, but keep in mind that in order to think like a coder, it takes some time and patience, but to learn it quickly, you just need to follow the right path and be consistent. Follow everything step by step, make your fundamentals clear first, keep practicing it, and once you are done with the basics, take the challenges and participate in competitive programming on different sites to get better at it, build your logical ability, and think like a coder. You will find yourself later how good a coder you have become by practicing it each and every single day. Thanks for watching, and let's meet another time.